Carnival of Souls is a strange independent horror film from 1962 that got little attention when it was first released, but decades later has become a cult classic. It's loose on narrative structure, but heavy on atmosphere. The plot centers around a woman who walks away from a terrible car accident and then starts to feel out of touch with the rest of society. She wanders around on an aimless quest to find her place. She becomes an organist at a church. During her travels, she notices an abandoned amusement park which seems to be beckoning to her. She keeps seeing visions of a creepy, ghostly man who happens to be the director of the film. The story of a traveling woman being followed by a strange man is very similar to the Twilight Zone episode, The Hitchhiker, but the idea of the vanishing hitchhiker goes farther back in American folklore and urban legends. Although never before had the tale been presented in such a surreal and unsettling way. She seeks help from a psychologist who doesn't seem to offer much, and she meets a neighbor who takes a romantic interest in her. He veers between romantic and lustful. When he first meets her, she's not dressed, and he tries to peek at her through the doorway. Sometimes he's nice to her, but other times he's a straight-up pervert. And when he drinks, he's downright mean to her. You want to see her smack this guy in the face and move on, but he's the only person she has to turn to. The interaction she has with him in these scenes is effectively uncomfortable. The film's greatest strength is in its settings, like the church with all the organ pipes rising up like a Gothic city, but the place that sticks out and what the whole film weighs itself upon is the amusement park. There's something indescribable and fascinating about abandoned amusement parks. Something about a place that was active, fun, colorful, and bustling with activity, now empty and deteriorating. What connection does she have with this place? The film does not make that explicitly clear, but it seems so natural that this is some kind of old haunt. Is this a real place that you can visit? Does it still exist? Well, sort of. It rests on the southern shore of the Great Salt Lake in Utah. Its name is Saltaire. People used to swim and dance there, just like the ghostly figures in the movie, but the place was destroyed in a fire. A new Saltaire was built on the same spot, which is the one seen in the movie, but that one also burned down. Then there was a third Saltaire which flooded but was repaired and is now used as a concert venue. The director, Herc Harvey, got the idea for the film when he was driving past Saltaire. He thought of the basic concept of the place being haunted and gave the idea to his screenwriter friend, John Clifford, who developed the idea into a script. These two guys were co-workers under a company that made industrial and educational films, but they decided to go out and make their own movie without any support from a major studio. I find that very relatable. Any of the low-budget or amateurish qualities gives this film its appeal. The pacing is odd, the storyline is vague, and it definitely doesn't follow the Hollywood format. But horror movies don't have any rules, and the best ones take their chances and do something different. Look at how abrupt the movie begins.
Hey Joe, drag your foot.
That's it. It starts just like that. No company logo, no opening title, no fade in, no establishing shot. You hit play, and this is what you get. You can't help but feel the ghouls or a ghost or whatever must be another source of inspiration for the zombies in Night of the Living Dead. Yeah, it's another precursor to the modern zombie genre, and it was one of the early independent horror films before indie horror became such a big thing, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Halloween. It's very simplistic in its delivery, but it succeeds in sustaining a nightmare quality which owes a lot to the sinister organ music. There's not much to this movie, but I find myself always wanting to rewatch it from time to time. It grows on me and lures me into a sleepwalking trance. I feel strangely drawn to it, just like the character in the film, to the spooky Saltaire.